Hey kiddo, are you ready for bed? Alright, let me tuck you in. And you sure you brushed your teeth, right? The tooth fairy's not gonna come for you if your teeth have cavities in them. Alright, I believe you. Okay, but look what I have here. I know you're not that tired tonight, so I got an extra special book here. It's kinda long, so I think it'll knock you right out. Alright, cuddle up. I'm gonna start reading. A long, long time ago, in the depths of a deep, dark cave, lived a big white dragon. He blew fire and smoke at anyone who dared enter his cave. Most people feared him, but one day a brave mage stepped forward to the beast. I know you're a dragon to be feared, but I come to you with no malice. The mage placed their staff on the ground and knelt down to the dragon. I don't trust you humans. You all do what you must to push past me and steal my treasure. The maid shook her head. I'm not after your treasure. The dragon felt angered by the mage. Did this human think her trickery could work on him? He took a big breath and shot a spear of fire towards the mage. The mage dodged the dragon's fire just in time. The robe hiding her face was singed off. The dragon peered at the mage's face and was astonished. The mage was but a youth. You seem to be quite young. Only humans who are at the end of their years and have nothing left to lose have come face to face with me. I must applaud you on your courage. The dragon held his head high. The mage inhaled sharply, a small smile appearing on her face. Thank you. I hope you will choose to listen to me. The dragon watched the mage as she continued to speak. I have no interest in monetary value, as I am fulfilled in life. I only humbly ask you to aid me in my venture. The dragon scoffed. You expect me to stop guarding my treasure to follow you and do whatever you ask of me? Foolish child. She shook her head. I've been cursed. I cannot divulge about the details of my venture, as it'll put my life at risk. I can only ask you to trust me, and in the end, I will make it worth your while. She picked up her magic staff from the floor, making the dragon flinch. And if you're worried about your treasure, I will ease those worries, she said while raising her staff in the air. The magic staff shone brightly, and a glowing white beam shot out. A shimmering shield was cast behind the dragon, protecting his treasure. The dragon flung his spiked tail onto the shield and even blew fire onto it. Neither made the shield even flicker. Well, I see. If you're so insistent and you've taken the measures to protect my treasure, I have no qualms. In reality, the dragon was a bit curious himself. What could trouble a youthful mage so much to warrant pleading to the most feared dragon in the land? The mage spoke once again. My name is Enya, and what may I call you? The dragon snorted. To my peers, I'm known as Twinkle. Do not mock my name, or you will be turned to cinders, he said quite curtly. Enya would have found the humor in his name at any other time, but with the situation she bared in her heart, she struggled to even crack a smile. The two left the cave, and with a bit of convincing, Enya was able to ride on Twinkle's back. They flew through the night sky, passing by the shimmering stars and piercing through the clouds. Where do you desire to go, foolish mage? I wish to go to the kingdom of Anster. Tinkle sneered. Your foolishness seems to know no end. Have you no knowledge of the havoc that's consumed that worthless land? Anya shook her head. I know how appalling it is, but you must believe me when I say that there is something precious worth saving in that kingdom. Twinkle paid no mind. He was now more interested in what she could provide for him once he's done with her request. Perhaps she could guard the cave and he could finally stretch his wings and visit faraway lands. The journey to the kingdom of Anster took well over a few hours. They passed by many kingdoms along the way. One with green that covered the land and climbed up the walls of structures and castles. Another that was run by great big ogres, and another that lived amongst the nature deities. Twinkle glided down swiftly, making a soundless and smooth landing. Anya was quite impressed with the nimbleness of a beast with such a colossal constitution. Twinkle spoke. I stopped right before the gates of the kingdom of Anster. My job here is done, as they would not welcome me further. A smile crept on Anya's face. That problem can easily be fixed. With yet another wave of her staff, magic spiraled around Twinkle's feet. It covered him entirely until he began to slowly shrink and shrink. By the time he was done, he was but the size of Anya's finger. I'm not used to being the size of something so pathetic, Twinkle said in a rather disappointed tone. Please hide me. I do not want my peers to see me in such a state. Anya opened up her robe pocket for him to settle into, and then she headed on her way to the entrance of Anster. She was met by two great men in armored suits. Good evening. I have rather important business in Anster, and appreciate it if you would let me through. One of the armored men spoke up. He had a rather mousy voice. I see. I'm afraid I can't let you. The kingdom is already in a state, and we are doing our best to keep outsiders out for our protection. Anya was well prepared for this response, so she pulled out a piece of paper and handed it over to the guard. I understand, but this is a letter from the princess herself. My presence is of utmost importance. As soon as she spoke the words, the guard's grip on the letter shifted from treating it like any other ordinary letter to handling it as if it were a fragile structure that would crack at the slightest touch. He regarded it carefully. Anya observed his eyes through the slit of his armor. They scanned back and forth as he read. I see. Then you will be let in. I hope you understand the state our kingdom is in, and you do your best to keep the peace from your side. As the words left his mouth, the two guards opened both of the large wooden doors and let Anya through. When she had walked a distance, Twinkle had poked his head out of her pocket. Are you that important, or is this but an act of forgery? I suppose it is somewhat of both. All will make sense in due time. The two walked further and further until they had reached the heart of the kingdom. What was once a beautiful, bustling region now looked decrepit and sorrowful. The fountain no longer spouted fresh water and was brittle and broken. The homes were all tarnished and ruined. The only people left walking around did so while dragging their feet. Anya's voice cracked when she spoke. How pitiful. Everyone used to frolic around here cheerfully. And now? Twinkle spoke up. I wonder if war caused this ruin. Anya shook her head. No. Twinkle pondered. Anya's demeanor had gotten more and more tense. It seems she's not a stranger to this place. The two went forth and walked past the sorrowful homes. Twinkle observed that they were heading up to the king's palace. What could possibly make you think you'd be welcome to the king's very own home? Twinkle remarked. I have the princess's letter, don't I? Well, the guardsmen at the palace might have a mind to know that it was forged. Anya shook her head. She didn't seem to want to continue this conversation. The palace was rather large and seemed like the only thing left untouched in this kingdom. Shimmered in gold and surrounded by hefty pillars and domes, it was surrounded by a large moat which could only be crossed by a grand bridge. The two had finally reached the doors of the palace and were stopped by a line of guardsmen. Anya stepped forward and spoke to one of the guards that didn't have his helmet on. He seemed like the leader. He was sitting beside the door, filing his nails, his long golden hair cascading down his shoulders. Good evening. I have business with the princess, sir. Anya handed the letter to him. Twinkle watched this interaction carefully, with his eye peeking out of her robe. The golden-haired guard didn't look up. He waved a finger at another guard and made him read it instead. After scanning through, the guard whispered to the golden hair leader and stepped back into his position. Sorry, no. You may leave, the leader said. What? The princess needs me, Anya boomed. The leader's eyes shot up at her. Do you take me for a fool? I recognize each and every curvature of the princess's handwriting. While yours was a good forgery, I'd sniff out a fake from anywhere. He snorted. Now, take your business elsewhere before I have you thrown in the prisons, the leader barked. As soon as he finished, he went back to polishing his nails. Anya walked away from the palace and the Grand Bridge. Seems like that nitwit Bertrand had stayed the same all these years, Twinkle voiced. You know him? Twinkle grunted. Unfortunately, he and his guardsmen stepped foot into my cave to claim my treasure. Fortunately for him, I fried all his allies and left him alive so he can spread some fear about me to this town. As he recounted the story, Anya got the sense that Twinkle sounded like he was recalling some good times. Perhaps he enjoyed the odd nostalgia he found in that memory. Either way, I'm not giving up that easily. I have an easy solution. Anya brought Twinkle out of her pocket and changed him back to half his size. And with a bit of thought, she said, I have no other option. This has to be done. She then waved her staff around and turned them both invisible. Couldn't we have been invisible and got the job done to begin with, foolish child? Anya hunched over and huffed. It's not that easy. Just that spell alone took the energy out of me. I can only perform one more spell and then my magic will be drained for a while. Twinkle rolled his eyes, annoyed by the limitations of humans. Anya crawled onto his back and the two took off towards the palace. Stop, over there, Anya ordered. She pointed at a rather large balcony. The two landed safely. Twinkle had noticed the change in Anya once again. She was drained of magic. Her skin was pale, her eyes wide, and she was shaking. Was she anxious of what was to happen next? Without explanation, Anya turned the two of them invisible again and started banging on the sliding door of the balcony. Open up. It's Anya. After a bit of yelling, the door finally slid open. A beautiful princess stepped through. She had long, dark hair and skin that looked like honey. She must have been asleep because she was in her pajamas. Anya, what are you doing here so late? And why is there a dragon here? Stop with the shenanigans. I know you're a what? The princess raised her eyebrow. Gah! Anya tried to spit out the words, but it wouldn't come out. Was this the effect of the curse on her? Well, I have no idea what you're trying to say, and if you don't have anything good to say, it's best if you leave. Not so fast. Twinkle stepped in. I think I recognize that rancid, earthly smell. You're a witch, aren't you? No, that's not true. The princess's eyes widened. The skin on her body started to crack. Keep saying it, Twinkle. The truth is the only way to break her spell. You're a witch, Twinkle said, over and over and over again, until the princess's skin had cracked off and had revealed a green witch underneath. Curse you dragons and your sense of smell. So you were the one sucking the life out of the kingdom of Anster all along, Twinkle thought to himself. He may not have liked humans, but this particular kingdom did hold history and meaning to him. For the first time in a long time, Twinkle's icy heart began to crack as well. The witch fell to her knees. She glared at the mage and dragon. I won't let you live for ruining my chances of being royalty, especially you, you pathetic mage. She stretched out her hand and chanted incantations. A glowing sphere formed in her palm. Anya was too weak to protect herself. She shut her eyes tight and held her arms in front of her when... Twinkle? He stood before her, enduring the witch's blast. Your pathetic spells won't harm a beast like me, filthy witch. His shaken voice could not cover up the impact the blast had on him. The witch cackled and bellowed, I'll make you pay. But before she could strike, a piercing scream escaped her lips. Anya looked up to see none other than Bertrand, the golden-haired guard. He had snatched up the witch by her collar and held his sword to her back. Say one more thing, and it's off with your head, old hag. He tossed her to his fellow guards below him. Take her to the prisons. The guards grunted and saluted, taking the witch away. Quite interesting. I remember you looking twice your size years back. Bertrand smirked. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I remember you scurrying off to your mother's bosom at the sight of me singeing off your eyebrows. Twinkle retorted. Can you two please? Anya coughed up blood before she could finish what she was saying. The two stopped their bickering and turned towards her. Foolish mage, I'll take you to the nearest dragon den and feed you our healing soup. You'll feel better in no time. What? No, she's a hero. My guards will assist her and take her to the infirmary, and then we must be on our way to find the princess. The princess, Anya murmured. But before she could finish her sentence, her vision went black. All right, that's the end of that chapter. Oh, wow. I sure definitely knocked you right out, huh? Here, let me just tuck you right in. Good night. Sleep tight, and don't let the bedbugs bite. All right, kiddo?